Hey everybody, and welcome to this month's offer writing workshop where I'm entitling it, A Picture is Worth 1,000 Words. This is going to be my, what do you know? Now you're going to see everything. Okay, let's fix that. There we go. This is going to be a discussion based upon a conversation I had with a couple of students the other day. They had asked me if I could show them how I analyze a property package from a broker, and which is what I do for my students. So if anybody wants to, in the owner forum, needs help or wants to walk through a property package with me, please, let's talk. Let's set up a time to talk, because I think you'll learn a lot. I know these folks definitely did. So what I wanted to just kind of go over, we're not going to do any numbers today. We're not going to do a cash flow analyzer. We're just going to talk about the property package, just the pictures on the property package and what you can learn from these pictures. So, you know, when you get a property package, it's, you know, the broker's best foot forward. So he's showing you how great this property is. I remember having a conversation years ago with one of my favorite students, Wanda, and the picture that the broker had put on the cover, we just laughed at it and thought, this is the best this guy could do. I mean, he had like a chain link fence around it, and you know, that was his way of saying, look at this great deal. And Wanda and I looked at it and laughed, like, oh my gosh, this is the best picture he can come up with. And I can imagine what the rest of the place looks like. So you think that a picture on the cover is going to be the broker's best foot forward, at least you hope, because you know, he's trying hard to get you to buy that property. But what I want you to do is learn how to look at these pictures. Now, many of you will never even go to these properties. You know, the deal will never get past go. But I want you to look at these pictures with a very wise eye and be able to pick up on things about the property just by looking at that picture. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I'm going to give you a couple of examples, actually. So, but first off, you know, disclaimer, I'm a lawyer. I'm not your lawyer. Get a lawyer. Okay, so here is the first picture. This happens to be, you know, I've kind of blocked out the name because this property is under contract right now, but it's, you know, my student sent it in, so I'm going to let him, you know, I didn't get permission, so I'm hiding the makeup of this property. All right, so he gets this property package, and that's on the cover. This picture is on the cover. All right, so let's, you know, this is almost like playing that game, not like Where's Waldo, but can you find all the elements in here that can tell you more about the property? All right, let's start with the fact that the broker told my student that this property is 100% leased. What do you see that screams that is not the case? Now, of course, the now leasing, which means that they have rooms available. Now, okay, does that mean the broker's lying to you? Well, not necessarily. You don't know when this picture was taken. But at the same time, you have to understand, sometimes landlords will leave the leasing sign up so that people can contact them and they can start capturing names of people. So when they have vacancies, they can go back to their list and sign that person up. Okay, fine. So, but you know, that's kind of the first thing that we look at. Now, what's another thing that jumps out here on this particular picture? If you look closely, you'll see right below at the bottom of the sign, it says Manager's Office number 29. I think there are like 29 or 30 units on this property. What does that tell you? What does that tell you about this property? First off, it's got on-site people. It's a small-sized property, but they have an on-site manager. That on-site manager uses one of the income-producing units, so it can't be income-producing anymore. So instead of being a 30-unit property, you're really looking at 29 units of income-producing property. And that means that when you go to look at the financials, what two things are you going to see on the financials? The number one thing is under the income reducers, as I call it, under the income reducers, you've got a unit a manager's unit. And so that's going to go down and bring down your gross potential rent down to the gross collected rent, okay? So that line item must appear in the income, in the expense statement. That's one thing. But what's the other thing that'll appear here? And that is the manager's salary, or it could be a manager concession. So those are three line items you need to see or look for when you look at the income statement. And you figure that out just by looking at the sign on this first picture. So if those things do not appear, this property is not accounting for their income and expenses properly. And so you've got to make sure, you've got to go in there and fix it yourself, because you don't want to overpay for the property. You want to make sure that everything is accounted for properly, okay? Okay. What else do we see on here? How about the landscaping? It looks a little crazy, looks to be in full bloom. Look at the bushes up against the building. That means that, you know, these things are overgrown. We got to do something about this landscaping. We got to rip it out. We got to, you know, and so that's going to cost us some money when we take over this property. But in addition to that, we've got to look on the expense budget, probably under contract services, for landscaping, because there's plenty of it to go around, and this guy has to be spending some money on the landscape. All right, what else do we see in this picture? Now, this is all coming from the very first page, and this is telling me stuff that I need to be looking for on this property, on this income statement, or this guy's not giving me the full line. But let's talk about the makeup of the building. What do we see about the building? Look at it. How many stories is it? Well, you got to look closely to realize that there's a basement level to this property. So there's a basement, a bunch of units down there that people rent. I got to tell you, folks, I would never want to live in the basement of one of these buildings. But in this particular case, when you look at this, and this happens to be in a very rainy part of the country, when you're living down in the basement, you got to watch to see where does the water flow. When you walk up to this property, you got to check the gutters. You got to check the roof. You got to look for French drains. You got to make sure that when it rains here, the water is being pulled away from the building. Because if it doesn't get pulled away from the building, it's going to all go down into those basement units. So when you go to do a walkthrough of this property, what you're going to need to do is walk downstairs, stop for a second, and take a deep breath. And folks, I never knew what mold smelled like until I started walking through 3,000 apartments. You get to know the smell of mold as soon as you walk into that apartment. All right, so that's the thing you are going to be looking for in this downstairs level of apartments. You're smelling for mold. Okay, so that's the thing you're going to be looking for. What else do we see here in this picture that will be important for us as we analyze this deal? Look at the windows. You see how the windows are single pane windows? What does that tell you about windows? They don't make them anymore. Those are old windows. Those windows are going to need to be replaced. That also tells you that this is a C, low B, C-level class property, because it's that old. This one happened to be built in 74. It's that old. People who are looking to rent in A-class properties, they don't rent in properties that have single-pane windows. So you might want to think, if you're looking at this property and part of the way to spruce it up is to go in there and start to do a nice rehab, you're going to have to replace all the windows. Okay? So that's something you need to take into consideration. So that's what I came up with on just this one picture. That tells you, and this is what I want you to do, is understand that when you look at those pictures, don't just gloss right over them. Go deep. Go deep into it. Look at that sign. What's on that sign? I mean, I looked at some properties where the exterior sign had all these, this property is under video surveillance, or call the security person up. This particular tow truck company tows cars. Not very warm and inviting. Not the type of thing you'd see on a B-class property that the broker was trying to sell it to us at. So go back and look at the pictures and really give yourself a good feeling for what's going on the property. All right, let's take another look at. Let's take a look at another. All right, this one happens to come from a student of mine, and I blocked out the name of the property, but this is his property package. So the first one we looked at was a broker property package, a broker trying to sell you on this particular deal. This one happens to be from a student of mine who has his property under contract and is going to raise private money. And so this is the opening picture of his property package to help raise money. Now let's take a look at this particular property. Now, okay, he's got the pool in there. Great. Pool it looks like it's a live pool, meaning it's working. It's not, got the top over it and dead bodies floating in it, so it's operating well. You can clearly see that the roofs are pitched, and also see that the roofs look new. What also I see is the separate entrances, because separate entrances are important to make sure that are important because it cuts down on the cleaning. It's easier. Most people prefer this style of apartment because you walk in from the outside right into your unit. You don't have to go down a hallway with a bunch of people, laughing and screaming. And so, what else? You have balconies. It looks to be clapboard, but I can't tell whether it's siding or not. The landscaping looks very well contained, and it's been mulched recently. I mean, so you look at this property and you see, man, this is a nice property. This is the type of property I would like to invest in. So that's what we look at when we look at this particular deal. And you can tell all these things right from the pictures. Look at the landscaping. I got to tell you, like, you got the seagrass on the left by the pool. You got a big oak or elm tree right there. Pretty nice. It just looks like it's a really quiet, comfortable place. And it is. I've worked with my student over this property. I told him right from the very beginning I like this property because it meets all of my criteria. And it's just, and you can see this all from the very first pictures that we look at. Okay? So that is a much better approach. Probably because it's a better property than that last one. But this is what you want to do, is to really put your best foot forward and make sure that things get presented well. I can tell you, I can see one thing that bugs me on this property. I'm going to show you what it is. Right there on here, where's my cursor? Right here. You see? Everyone see that? That is a dish. Landlords hate dishes. Because look what they did. This guy called the dish company. The dish company comes in and they start to affix that dish right into your property, right into it. And there should be something on the lease saying you're not allowed to put dishes on your affix dishes to the property. Now what they do is they have them on little stands that you can put in the on your deck, but you can't put it on the property because 20 years from now, when this technology is gone, we have all these dishes on our properties, and somebody's going to go up there and take them off, and it's just a nuisance factor. I mean, when the client leaves, you should not leave anything with them behind, especially as a security deposit. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, let me just kind of take a little pause for a second here. I'm going to jump on over and find you something that you might get a real kick out of. I think you'll like this one. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. All right. Oh, what are you doing? Well, let me see if I can fix this. Here we go. Okay. That should do it. All right. And let me just make sure. Okay, connect. All right, so take a look at this one. This property package, now this particular property package is just pictures, okay? So this is the opening picture of this property. Can you see it? It's like a picture of trees with a building behind. And look at that gate. What does that warn you about? Holy cow. Not so warm and inviting. Kind of a, it looks like a, a bad dorm building. So let me scroll through here and show you some of the other highlights. Okay, take a look at this. Here are two other pictures. Okay, looks like somebody went down to what do they call it? The Habitat for Humanity restore store, and picked up some bathroom appliances. Molding, you can see the black scutch right over here. Down in here, we see some more mold growing. Not what you want to lead with. Not a great picture. Lousy grout. Oh, this bathroom is disgusting. I mean, this is the type of bathroom you'd want to rip apart. Take a look at the kitchen here. Tell me something, folks. What's missing from the kitchen? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the stove and oven. Well, is the tenant supposed to bring it with them? Where is it? Not even there. Just see a spot where it's supposed to be. And I know it's supposed to be there, not a fridge, because there's a hood here. Holy cow. Okay, let's take a look at another one. All right. Hardwood floors, whatever that is that they left, they probably should have picked up. Once again, here's another kitchen without the oven. I can't even tell if it's, no, that's a different one. That's a different one. They show me two kitchens with no ovens. Okay. And this is a rent-ready unit. That's why they're showing it to us. Take a look. There's another bedroom. Washer-dryer. Coin-operated washer-dryer. So what does that mean? That means that when I look at the financial statement, I should see laundry income on there. Probably not much, but we're going to get some laundry income. There are more units. Nice. Okay. Now check this out. Look at these hallways. So we got one that's all tiled and one that's hardwood floors. And this is how people come in. They have to walk down long hallways. Okay. What does that mean as an owner? What do you think it's like to own a property that has this type of interior hallways? And the answers are cleaning, they get filthy. Painting, they get all marked up. Don't ever put carpeting on it. They'll be destroyed in no time flat. Security, who the heck is walking down these hallways and grab you and pull you into their apartment or what have you? So these are the types of things you want to look for and think about when you see these pictures, and now you've got to analyze the deal. The number one thing is cleaning. These things get filthy in no time. You get this thing cleaned on Monday, by Friday, it'll be disgusting. People just leave their crap out in the hallways. And so this is something that you definitely want to take a look at and think about as you go through. Let me see. Okay, now there's more of the more stuff. Look how filthy the floors are. They need to be sanded. This is really, this is a tough property. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Look at it. They got a new furnace they wanted you to see. Might be a new 220-volt service. There's the checkout box. There's the, I don't even know what that is. But I want to show you this. Look at, those missing appliances? Don't worry about it. They're down in the basement. That's where we keep them. Why do we keep them down there? Well, because they get stolen out of the apartments. Why don't they get stolen in the basement? I tell you something, folks. Why you don't, unless you get some type of a big deal, good deal, and someplace will lock them up, only buy appliances when you need them. They're such low-cost items. But believe it or not, refrigerators have legs. You might not know that, but I found out the hard way. I bought a bunch of refrigerators, stored them in a particular location on the property. When I went back to get them, they were gone. Well, where are they? Oh, we use this one for unit so-and-so. We use that one for unit such. No, you didn't. You stole them. You sold them off the back of the truck as soon as they came in here. So don't keep these things around. And why they're down in the basement and not up in the guy's unit is beyond me. So that's something else. Two big hot water heaters. So it looks like you're paying for the water, the hot water. Look at all the furnaces. Every unit has their own furnace. Okay. Look at all the electrical meters. Every unit has their own electric service. There's the mailboxes. Good picture of mailboxes. Oh, I love this one. Check out this. This is the fitness center. Looks like my basement with all of my fitness toys too. Well, that's what they get down there. So, I can't even imagine they're touting it that way. So, all right, so that's it. I mean, you got to go through these pictures. And what I learned from the pictures, and the thing that I take from the pictures the most, is that I can notice where it's going to be costing me money or where I should be spending money on this business when I own it just by looking at the pictures. And then that information has to then translate over into the income and expense statement, and it has to appear on there, or I know that these people are just blowing smoke. So that is what I mean when I say a picture is worth 1,000 words, or a picture is worth $1,000. Make sure you do this, you analyze it, and you know exactly what this property is like from the comfort of your own office or home before you even make an offer, before you even go down there to see the property. Look at the pictures. They'll tell you more than you can imagine. So, all right, everybody, great talking with you, and we will get this off and posted, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon.